Lee Cox. Theater Thursdays. I'm excited.
Good. I love that you're always excited early in the morning. And you have a little drink there. I usually have to have 2 cups of coffee before I can get that excited.
Listen, did I tell you about the experience I had the other day with caffeine?
No.
So I always read these things from OSF Healthcare, and we talk about,
Don't do this.
what
Don't
not
do that.
to do.
Don't do that. Yeah.
I'm telling you, the news team knew exactly what I'm drinking in the mornings because I got this thing on caffeine overdose, and I'm going, ooh, I'm hitting that number by 10.
I know. Well, see, I worked in a hospital when I was your age, and yes, we live on cookies and coffee, very unhealthy things that people who work in a hospital do. But I've cut way back. I'm down to one little cup a day.
Good for you.
I've worked at it.
So another thing you guys are working on is an incredible season, and let me tell you, Violet Sharp was fantastic, and I mean that. That was my first show.
I know, and I was so glad. And I worried because it is a drama, and it was very theatrical, very historical. And I thought, I want him to see how much fun we have here and how much the audience loves us. And here, there were people in tears and very quiet, but they were so moved. We've gotten so many letters and so many comments. Thank you for doing a drama once in a while, and particularly something we didn't know. And then, of course, we got that beautiful letter from the playwright and his wife, and they sent us books and research and kind of updated us on what else they're doing with the show. But it was just great that you stayed around and you got to talk to one of our best and newest actresses.
Absolutely, and we're going to air parts of that and highlights of that conversation with her and Carolyn's last name, because I have a hard time. Perdault. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I mess up last names all the time, and I figured before I preview a last name, I'm going to have Lee on here. We're going to figure this out together. But the conversation with her and Kevin, I think, was really important because it showed your guys' connection to the cast and all of your performers. And you guys are like a family. It is so
We
cool.
are, and we wanted it to be a very open house where people can feel totally comfortable to express their artistic bent. She's a software engineer in her day job, but you'd never guess that because she really is capable. She could do professional theater if she wanted to.
Oh, without a doubt. And another thing, too, now, G's Bend, is that this weekend or weekend?
Yes,
okay.
yes. We, unfortunately, and this has only happened twice in 90 years.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. The show must go on. But again, COVID has changed all of our lives. And if anyone, we test every day.
Do you?
Once we're into dress rehearsals, and we always test it once a week, but we test every day. Somebody even shows up faintly positive and we're shut down. I mean, we close immediately. Mm-hmm. Everything goes into sanitation mode. So we had an actress who'd already had COVID, but she's a teacher. And you know what happens in those schools of Petri dish. She's fine now. In fact, 2 nights ago, she was laughing and jumping around. I was like, okay, she's fine now. But we did have to postpone. And so, yes, it's this weekend, Friday night, Saturday night, 7:30, and Sunday afternoon at 2. We had to call a lot of people, email them. We were still there in case anyone showed up. We only had one couple who the email went to spam. I felt terrible. They showed up on Sunday, but we gave them free drinks and free snacks and a free ticket. So not so bad.
Are there still tickets for the reschedule?
Yes.
I'll be there
yes.
because I want to see this. Now, this is a really powerful piece, I think.
It's only been done professionally once in the Midwest. We're the first community theater. So again, incredible acting. Sarah Goins, the mayor's daughter. She is fabulous.
Yes, she is.
Dancer, actress.
Jared Hennings I saw in there as well.
Yes, Jared Hennings plays the lone male. And Jared is so adorable and lovable, and he has to play the bad guy a little bit of this, and it's killing him. He just hates it. I'm like, do you need a hug? We still love you, Jared. But he's a great actress, and we have 2 other actresses from St. Louis and one from Belleville. And the dialect, they've worked so hard on understanding. I mean, I actually grew up in Louisiana for 8 years of my life. So
What part?
Houma, which just got wiped out by the hurricane.
That's terrible.
Last year. Horse farms everywhere, beautiful, but only an hour from the bayou and about an hour and a half from New Orleans. And
wow.
So my
cool.
grandmother had a farm there, so we spent a lot of that time in the summer. So I love that, and I can pick up a Southern dialect pretty easily. But they really, really were. And it's such a touching story and true. Again, these ladies who did these quilts that now hang in the Smithsonian Institute, it was a way of getting out of poverty, of educating their children, of improving their community. So the messages are just things that I think any community needs to bear witness to. Yeah.
Well, and two, one thing I wanted to highlight while you were talking about just the reschedule, when I was telling you about my experiences doing the production for wrestling and all this, the components you guys have to follow is very strict, because if one sound person gets a little under the weather, it spreads like wildfire. And we need the sound people and we need the light people too.
Absolutely. And I did think about you the other day. We just cast our first female wrestler.
Oh, no way.
Yes. And she's in Ding Dong. This is her first show ever. Of course, she's been doing the shows with
Who is
wrestling.
It?
I knew you were going to ask me, Darla.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You long red hair, gorgeous.
That's
she lives in Godfrey, little.
Great
She brought
addition.
her son, and I thought she was going to bring him because he was interested in the acting classes we're doing this summer. She goes, I want to give this a go. And I asked her, I said, would you have any trouble throwing that man down on the chaise lounge and jumping on him and pummeling him and then kissing him? She goes, nope. And I was like, okay, that was her audition. I was like, good deal.
That is incredible. And I mean, it's really so cool to talk with you and talk about these things, because I was just, every perception that I ever thought of Alton Little Theater was wiped out because I didn't know. I had no idea.
Well, if people would come, we're not some old fogey's little tight set. We're very open. We're doing things all the time.
Well, and your performers are out of this world. And now another thing I want to highlight too, before we go into the big spiel here, is Ding Dong is coming up, and this is directed by the one and only Lee Cox.
Yes, it is. But I do have help. I mean, I have Gail Drillinger and Kevin Frickster in the show. So we have two people who have never been in a show, two people who have done a show with us but done a lot of work, other people, and then 3 directors. So there's 6 in the cast and me, and it's fabulous. A little different types than what I kind of expected or how I might cast it. But and I thank Kevin, because he could not start building this humongous set because of postponing AG's Ben. So he will be working his ass off.
Kevin, thank you. Thank you, Kevin.
I mean, giant staircase. I mean, it's a very rich top of the roof apartment in Paris. So everything is a little too ooh la la, but such fun. And I think, and the costumes to die for. Farces are just fun. You check your brain at the door and just say, I'm going to go with it. I'm going to see these people be silly and run around and do really ridiculous things, but it's so much fun doing it in Paris.
Right. Well, and by the way, Paris is one of my favorite places. I was there in Paris, and I swear to you, it was the same week a Black Panther got loose out of somebody's apartment in the high rises, and it was crawling on top of the roof.
I love it.
Here I am in a cafe. I can't speak a lick of French, and then people are looking up going, is this thing going to come down on us?
But of course there'd be a crowd like, ooh, what's he going to do? I know. I used to take students to England and France.
Really?
Kevin and I, can you believe, when we were barely 18, 20, we chaperoned 16-year-olds. Not the best idea in the world, but I did have the energy to stay up all night with them back there. But I love Paris. And, of course, I made them watch Emily in Paris. That was mandatory. If you're going to be in the show, you've got to look at this, because they rarely work. And as we know, they're protesting right now. But they take 2-hour lunches, 2-hour dinner. They go to cultural events, and they have different outfits for everything.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you guys think you eat dinner late at 8 o'clock. You're eating at about 10:30 or 11.
Oh, yes. Yeah, on the script it says 9, start serving at 9, but there's 5 courses, so this meal would go into it. That's why they walk in at 11 saying, oh, I have a headache. Where's the good coffee? But I love it, because I still haven't figured out, how do the women walk everywhere. They're size 2 and they walk everywhere in high heels. No one is in tennis shoes. No one.
That's a good point. You're going to talk about some calf strength right there.
Exactly. Beautiful. I mean, the most beautiful women in the world, the most beautiful fashions in the world. Yeah. So we're going to do our best, though.
Well, and too, just one last thing, because you're bringing up so many memories. The biggest takeaway, too, was how some of the wealth in Paris, because there is just like a little bit of a gap there, but to see it, I'm sitting at a cafe and here's a nanny with 12 children walking on one of the busiest streets of Paris in loops. That's how they got him to the bus, because there was so many people. Yes. And then you see all the, the ladies that are all high and mighty, sitting there judging everybody too, because well, I do it too.
Exactly. Oh, the cafe, that's where you go to people watch. Right. You could sit up in Montmartre and just for 3 hours have wine and just, watch the people. I've done that.
So in terms of Ding Dong, what's your favorite part of the prep so far? Has there been a moment where you're going, okay, here we go?
Well, we did some intimacy exercises because Kevin and I have both been certified in intimacy.
Is that
kissing on stage? Oh, yeah, it's a very important thing. You don't just throw people together and say, okay, you're going to do this hot and heavy, sexualized scene here, even though it's all in great fun. And so I hadn't realized the height variation.
Oh,
I love it, but one of the guys comes up barely to Kevin's mid-chest, and I'm like, well, now you guys have to be really comfortable with each other. And I'm like, oh, God, it looks like you're going to swallow him up because you're so much taller and bigger than he is. But he was a boxer. Joshua Sargrave, who played the butler, the not likable part.
Oh, he was great,
I know, but he's such a nice guy. And I felt so sorry for him because he'd come out and nobody would talk to him because they hated his character so much.
We believed it.
Yes. But he plays this mousy little businessman in this show that Kevin dominates. So it's a great. And he drives an hour and 15 minutes each way.
Well, I think that's what we don't realize sometimes is how much work your performers, your cast and crew are all putting in to get here.
Yes. And just great people who it's been their dream. They've wanted to do this, or so many of them, they did it in college or in their early 20s. And then like everybody, they got together, had kids, started working 1-2 jobs. He's done everything. Wow. So we have all ages, but this cast is, I think Rhonda is Darla's the earliest, and she's, I think, just barely 40. So
wow, that's actually really cool to see too. We get some,
Well, and again, our sensibilities. I picked this show 6 years ago. 6 years ago, and it was a huge hit in Naples, Florida. That's kind of a sister theater, and they had extended the run 3 months, from 3 weeks to 3 months. It was so popular. And so I checked it out, and I was like, this was before Me Too. We have to be a little careful of casting. And again, we have beautiful young women. You've seen some of them on stage or in promos, but it's just not appropriate or comfortable. The audience would not be comfortable with a big age difference between the males and the females. And so here in Ding Dong, it's actually the males talk big about it, but it's the females who actually come on to them, and they're outwitting them. They're kind of tossing it up and saying, oh, they think they're going to get their way. No. We're going to be with who we want. And so the 4 women are just hysterical. And they basically torture the older guy. And he's like, okay, enough. I didn't mean it.
I love this. To me, what's your, you can't really pick a favorite because you got so many, hats in the ring here. But in terms of like comedy, drama, what's your favorite to direct?
Oh, wow. Yeah, believe it or not, it would be dramas.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, as an actress and a director, those are the memorable ones. And people will say, I want a comedy, I want to be entertained, I don't want to think. But when you ask them, they'll say, oh, I love The Miracle Worker, I love To Kill a Mockingbird, I love Kinder Transport, which I directed all of those. But, I just think telling something that helps people get in touch with their humanity, their kindness to each other, That's very important to me because they'll remember they laugh, but they won't even remember the story in a comedy.
That's a huge part to this as well, because, when I went to go see Violet Sharp, you just segued this perfectly. I went, well, I'm more of a comedy person. I said that before on the first Theater Thursday, but I got there and I fell in love with drama.
Yeah.
I mean, you felt every aspect of what your cast felt in that performance. Yes. And we still got that 3-hour escape from this reality show we're living in.
Yes.
And so
exactly.
It's really cool. Now you got to help me here.
Okay.
Big time. I don't... is the 89th season wrapping up as we speak?
Yes. Ding Dong is actually the last show in the 89th season, but we always start the season ticket launch in the spring and give people what we call that early bird discount. They get a very cheap price if they invest in us, because we have to plan our whole fiscal year. Our year goes from June 1st to May 31st. So that's partially why we do it. And we usually have a big comedy. It was a little unusual to do Violet Sharp. We usually do have a big comedy, well attended, so that we can touch people and say, hey, look, you're here. You plunk down $80. You can see 5 shows, including 2 musicals, and get a $5 discount on any one of the concerts or the extra programs that we do. Yeah. We're doing 9 shows in the 90th season. 5 of them are in the main stage, and then the rest are extra. But yeah, they can come a whole year of theater, for just a little over $100.
Well, that's what I'm honestly leaning towards, Lee, because to me, that's the perfect Christmas gift almost too for that.
And Mother's Day is coming up. That's our last performance, May 14th. Yeah.
Sorry, I promise you, I woke up a little early today, and I'm getting here. But you're right. I mean, to me, to be able to take your mom once, every couple of months, or even what is it, once a month, the show.
Just about. Oh,
once
yeah.
a month, that's what I thought.
In the 90th. Yeah. I think a little part of August, because we end our big summer musical, Spam-A-Lot, on July 31st, and then it's September. But from September on, it's every month, yeah.
And then my last question for you about this is I've literally stared at this for 3 days. Beer for breakfast, just to tease us really briefly, and we'll circle back. What is this all about?
It's such a silly title. It probably turns people off. But it really, when you see the show, it's 5 guys who are not dealing with middle age very well. They're wanting to regress a little bit, and they're like, yeah, now we can have pizza. We can even have beer for breakfast if we want. And of course, then one female shows up, the wife of one of their former gang, and she's like, what are you guys acting like frat boys for? What are you doing here? And of course, there's a snowstorm. When you're in a cabin in the mountains, there's always a snowstorm. But it actually we find out politically and some things that have happened. One of the men has had a slight stroke, and so his buddy really helps him navigate the world. And the guy who's the most egotistical, he's also the most vulnerable. He's been left by his wife and his job. They're phasing him out, and so he's feeling pretty useless. But she's very powerful in convincing him. You have a choice now. Do you want to keep drinking? Or do you want to get your act together and have a second part of your life that's fantastic and reach your potential?
Oh,
and so you can kind of figure that she was a very good influence.
We're going to be crying in this. A lot of guys, because this hits close to home, I think.
It does. You'll be laughing, but there's a few touching moments. But really funny moments, because the things they all bring supplies, chips, pizza, beer. Like, nobody has eggs. Nobody. So the thought, now we're in this cabin, we're stuck here. And it's like, oh, okay. It was fun the first 24 hours, not so much fun the second 24.
It's a short honeymoon phase.
Yes, exactly.
Well, let's circle back to Ding Dong, which is May 5th, 6th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th.
Yes.
And then matinees on the 7th and 14th at 2 p.m.
Yes.
I will be at G's Bend this weekend.
Good.
I want to check this out, but I really want to drive home the fact that you guys, if you haven't been, and you should have been, because I felt like I've been living under a rock, this is the best. To me, your guys are my favorite spot right now.
And thank you.
Because it's so much different than everything I'm used to, Lee.
And that you might have even known we were there, but we have so many people who say, oh, I had never come in here. I didn't know you were a real theater.
Well, and that's the thing. And we've talked about that. A lot of your viewers and fans, they're out of state or they're coming in from St. Louis.
From North County, St. Louis, we get a lot, or even St. Charles and Bunker Hill. We have a lady in the cast who was a 4th grade teacher in Bunker Hill, and this was on her bucket list. And she used to do stand-up comedy, but she's never done a show, and she is funny.
Well, and I'm telling you guys, you got to hang out with me at Alton Little Theater because I love every bit of it. It's beautiful. The performers are out of this world. And the fact that we have this much talent right here.
And you could come even audition for Spamalot. We need a lot of guys, CJ. Those are the 22nd, 23rd of April. And we just got the final approval. I mean, we had it. They gave us the scripts, but they said there is a professional company in Washington, D.C. And I was so afraid. I had to write and say, look, we're nowhere near. We don't compete. We're, you know. So we finally got approval. And it's such a funny, witty show. But we do need about 14 guys. And they need to look good in tights, so I'm going to nominate you.
I do wrestle in tights.
See, I know you do.
I used to be in a suit. You've been wrestling a suit, 3 pieces.
Oh, my God.
Tough work, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to ask you for your biggest takeaway of Violet Sharp before we flip it to our highlights of the conversation we had with Kevin and Carolyn, because this was a really good, insightful conversation on this.
Well, I think revisiting our history, how else could we learn to do better if we don't revisit history? And it isn't really ancient history. I mean, for us, even looking at how police work and forensics had changed, but it is so important in our society to make sure that the innocent are not accused.
Yep. And you know what? I got to ask you, who did it?
Well, everybody has a different theory about that, including the playwright. Yeah. And their research does put a little guilt, not the actual murder, but some involvement, Lindbergh himself, in terms of people going after him, his own political beliefs, and then it went awry.
Yep.
Certainly, I don't believe he intended for his child to die, but I do think there were some forces going on in his life which then got out of control.
Right. And you know what? I'm going to say yes to that, too. Okay. Lee Cox is going to join me next Thursday because we do it on the first and last Thursday. Yes. And I like how we book in this. So I'm starting to really love this.
Well, I put it on my calendar because it was like, okay, I got it. Because I'm flying out to Minneapolis. Then I come back for 3 days. I'm here Thursday. And then I fly out again on Friday to go to D.C. So
God bless your dedication. That's all I can say.
My world revolves around you, CJ.
That's all I need.
It's actually my grandkids. It's like if you want to catch them, you got to catch them on a weekend. They are busy, sports, graduations, all kinds of things.
And I can't thank you enough for giving us your time on these Thursdays because I love talking Alton Little Theater.
Good.
You've made a lifelong fan out of me, and we're going to take you to that conversation now. Lee, anything else before I let you go?
No, I just want other people to come visit. I promise they'll have a good time.
You will, and for more information, altonlittletheater.org.
Somebody special, and her and I worked really well together, and we would sit and talk about the characters and stuff like that and how you would feel about certain things. And what I loved about her is we would talk about it and she'd turn around and just do it. And I don't get actors like that very often, so she was very easy to work with, and she's extraordinary. She really is.
It was really fantastic. There's some incredibly talented actors in this cast. Thanks to Kevin, he did a great job casting it. But yeah, it's amazing what a difference having a cast that you can trust and you know that they have your back and you know that there's going to be this energy on stage that you can play off of each other, and it's just been really fantastic working with them.
And how long have you been performing here at Alton Little Theater?
Here at Alton Little Theater, just over a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Making an impact pretty quick, Kevin. Huh? That's fantastic. So has this been the play that you've been most focused on? Has this been the highlight so far?
Like of my entire career?
Oh, just here at Alton Little Theater. Well, no, we only have 10 minutes here, Karen.
Oh, okay.
You're not really that old.
Well, yeah, it's been amazing. And Lee teased me with Violet Sharp about a year ago.
Really?
And so I've been just like, I'm going to go read Violet Sharp again. I'm going to go read it again. So when she finally told me that it was slated to happen in March, I think Kevin and Lee have both mentioned this on occasion, but it's a good play to just sink your teeth into. As an actor, you can just really sort of, grab hold of this character, and it's written so well. William Cameron just made this such an easy play to act. It's really fantastic.
Well, and too, I mean, you brought the character to life on stage. I mean, it fit your characteristics to a T. I mean, I don't know, Carolyn. Kevin, am I right on the ball here?
Well, I didn't really know her that well either when she first showed up. Lee had told me that this young lady was going to come and show, and I did remember seeing her in a different show, totally different part. But when she came to try out, so she blew me away.
Big takeaway that I had just with talking to a few folks in the crowd today was just how you guys really brought out the drama, brought out that severity of this play, because it takes a very special cast to relay that message. This is a very serious situation that you guys were covering, and to a T, I might add, seriously, just blew it all out of the water. Now, with this, after it's done, what's that, I guess coming down period from being Violet Sharp-like? Does it take a little bit of a transition?
A little bit. I was joking around with somebody who came to the show last weekend. They said, "How do you get out of character?" I was like, "Well, I think she comes off with the wig," which isn't entirely untrue. You mentioned the camaraderie of the cast. There's a lot of just sputting going back in the women's dressing room, and I get off stage and take a deep breath and, all right, I'm Carolyn again. I'm not Violet anymore. I'm not distraught.
She can snap right into it.
Yeah, I was going to ask him.
She can snap right into it.
Yeah.
During rehearsals, we'd stop, because I'm the kind of director, I'm in your face a lot.
Okay, yeah.
And so I stop them a lot and say, let's try this, let's do it this way. And we'd talk a little bit, and she'd be her normal self, and she'd turn around, boom, she's right back into it. And I mean right back into it. So she's very good at that.
Absolutely. And, with that being said, the prep work, what was the hardest part to shift into this role?
That's a good question.
I don't ask very many of those, Kevin.
A little
Yeah,
bit.
please
the
do.
Feelings, the feelings,
yeah.
of the baby and stuff like that. I mean, for the people that don't know this show, it is the kidnapping of the Lindbergh baby, and they do find the baby and everything else, and her character gets so emotional at times that your heart just bleeds for her. And and she's so good at that. And like I said, she can just snap right into it. And
just a couple of weeks is, geez, Ben, this is going to be really, really exciting. Take us through this, Kevin.
Well, it's another true story.
Really?
Yes, it is, and it's actually about. Well, you even know some of it about what we talked about. You can help me out there a little bit. It's a true story, and it takes you back. I don't know what the year is. I think it's in the 30s also.
That sounds right.
But it's they tell the story through quilts.
Oh, wow.
And some of these quilts are very famous quilts, and they hang in the museum and everything else. But it goes through the history of the black history, the white history, and a lot of the trouble that people had back then. And it's very touching, very moving, and we've got some very good actors in this one too.
Something I wanted to highlight really quick about this Violet Sharp performance is I was hearing through the grapevine the other day that the writer of the play sent you guys a little bit of a care package.
Actually, a couple days ago, they brought in a big package, and it had my name on it and stuff, and I opened it up, and it was from the author.
Oh, wow.
And it had books in it and all this research that they did, and what they came up with and what they thought actually happened. Research and read about it and stuff, and it's really interesting. And this is the only show that I've gone out in the lobby and the audience comes to me and we talk about it, and they have their own suspicion and everything else. I mean, I stood out there just a few minutes ago for 10 minutes talking to this couple that thought, oh my gosh, this is so exciting and all this stuff. So it's really kind of cool.
Absolutely. And guess what else is pretty cool? The 90th season of All the Little Theater, of being a landmark right here in the Midwest, and we take you there. Theater Thursdays on the first and last Thursday of each month for hopefully many months to come. Kevin, Carolyn, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And thank you guys for tuning in for Theater Thursday. We'll be back with more of our daily show right after this in the heart.